We call the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Brief moment of silence. We'll start off with the retirement board agenda. We'll call that meeting to order, and we will go on to number 3, I guess, Janet.
Is there any citizens' input on agenda items? Hearing none. Vice Chairman Bridie wishes to announce that today's meeting was properly advertised. Vice Chairman Bridie will entertain a motion to approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes of the May 20th, 2014 Retirement Board meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Motion.
Second.
Move second. Properly moved and seconded. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Any old business to come before the board? Any new business to come before the board?
Yeah, Frank, do you want to, can you elaborate on the GMX settlement?
The Chris sent along a letter which indicated that there's a class action lawsuit being brought whereby it's alleged that various counties and other municipal bodies were overcharged for their fees for, and I don't recall, it's I don't recall who the
GMX Resources.
Anyway, the question is whether or not the county wishes to join in this class action lawsuit. I don't see any downside to it. Potentially, if there is any settlement or a verdict, that the county could possibly come in, be reimbursed for some of these fees. It's up to the commissioners whether or not you wish to join that suit.
I make the motion to join the suit.
I'll second. Properly moved and seconded. On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, and then also under new business, the approval of Goldman Sachs as an additional asset manager.
I make the motion to approve Goldman Sachs. I'll second the motion.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Vice Chairman Bridie wishes to announce that the next scheduled meeting of the board is August 19, 2014 at 10:30 a.m. Vice Chairman Bridie will adjourn the meeting.
Now we're on to the salary board agenda. We'll call that meeting to order.
Vice Chairman Bridie wishes to announce that today's salary board meeting was duly advertised in a local newspaper. Roll call of permanent members. Controller Grayson.
Here.
Commissioner Schock.
Here.
Commissioner Bridie.
Here.
Chairman Clausy.
Yes.
Any public input on agenda items only? Number 5, a motion is needed to approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes of the salary board meeting held on Tuesday, June 17, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
A motion is needed to eliminate one sheriff deputy position in the sheriff's office effective immediately.
Should
the sheriff be included in this vote since it affects? Okay.
Yeah.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. On the question? I thought you were heavy one when I brought it up at the last meeting, but
yeah, it's a matter of housekeeping. No one is actually leaving. That was the position that was created.
Right.
That was the deal when we gave him the position. Assumed it was against swearing as a sheriff, that position was coming out of the salary board.
That's why I brought it up at the last salary board. And
Yeah, we're good.
okay, sounds good. So, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Number 7, a motion is needed to create one part-time assistant district attorney at 70% of the starting salary of $46,972 with no benefits effective July 21st, 2014.
I make the motion.
Who's someone from the DA's office be? represents? Are they, she's not here? Okay, all right, I didn't know if she...
All right, I'll second the motion. On the question? Hearing none?
Roll call.
Roll call.
Yeah, roll call.
There's nobody here from the district attorney's office, is there? No. Okay. Controller Grayson?
Yes.
Commissioner Shaw?
Yes.
Commissioner Bridey?
Yes.
Chairman Clausy?
Yes. For the record, let's the record reflect that the 70% the salary for the part-time position, it's not a call, that's a union contract.
And I want to thank Ms. Targonski for bringing her shortfalls to my attention, for reaching out to me. Wanted to start on a clean slate and to do things the best way that we can for our taxpayers, and she's really under the gun being short of someone, so I'm thankful that she was nominated.
Well, we offer Mr. Rosina the part-time position. He didn't want it, so I'm glad that she took it, and she's going to go on with in the office. She's going to do a good job. I congratulate her.
Any old business? Any new business? Recess to the call of the chair.
Okay, we'll call the public meeting to order. Is there any citizens' input on agenda items only? We have one.
I just have a question, and I didn't know this was even going to be on here. Matter number 16 about the Act 137 money. Did someone look into it that this money can actually be used for this? Because I know the Act itself is very specific as to where the money was supposed to go. We collected in our office, it's called affordable housing, and it's supposed to go for the low income and stuff like that. And I guess I just wanted to know if anybody looked into this to make sure that this money can be used for something other than.
I guess I'll speak to that. The Act 137 board did meet to approve that, and we have a guiding document to go over that.
Is it in compliance with the law? I mean, first of all, I didn't know there was a board. But
yeah, we score the project.
Is it in compliance with what the law?
Correct. It's to use it for affordable housing initiatives, and we score the projects on that scale. I can show it to you upstairs.
Right, tell me to speak in the microphone. I can't hear.
Yeah, you can speak in the microphone, please.
What I said was it's in conformance with the initiatives. I'm trying to just glance here over this. I'm catching this after I was not paying attention, but the allocation A is what you were talking about, or the whole initiative?
My understanding, they're going to take money out of that account.
Correct.
To put
and this is contingent upon the receipt of the grant with the Housing Authority to do the elderly housing units in Mount Carmel, which is allocation A. Okay. And then allocation B is to continue working to leverage the Keystone Communities funding for the blight strategy we're working on.
That's what I'm asking. That law allows for you to use the money for blight?
Yes. Yes, that's what the board has to determine in order to make the allocation. We have to go through and score it, the Act 137 board. When they make the recommendation, they go through and see what provisions it meets and what it doesn't.
I thought when we first started collecting this, I thought it was very specific where this money had to go.
Yeah, I can show you the plan.
Okay, all right.
I can give it, yeah.
Okay, any additional input on agenda items? Hearing none. Update on budget and financial condition?
Okay, thank you. The June 2014 reports are in progress, so they are not available yet. I will be reviewing the reports when they are available, and I will be providing an update at the next meeting. Thank you.
Anything?
Nothing more to add.
All right, then. Go ahead, Shannon.
Item number 4, motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuels payrolls as submitted by the Finance Office for payroll number 13 in the amount of $670,036.61 and payroll number 14 in the amount of $669,694.71.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Just on the question, I just want to bring to everyone's attention, because we had that problem with payroll where someone had gotten a settlement through the county, and Joe's team does the payroll up there, and here typically goes out to the banking institution on like a Wednesday, and they typically don't get to audit it until maybe Friday or even the following Monday after the funds have been paid. So what we put together was a little plan with controller's help here, that in the event that the ladies do see something come across where it's higher than normal, to bring it to your attention right away.
And we did bump up the audit time to make that more urgent to try to get it done on Wednesday before payroll even goes out.
Okay, great. So, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Number 5, a motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuels bills as submitted by the county controller in the amount of $3,549,995.05 from June 14th to July 11th, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
A motion is needed to approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes of the Commissioners' public meeting held on June 17, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Announcement. The Northumberland County Board of Commissioners would like to recognize and congratulate Attorney Michael Robinson, who has been elected to serve as the President of the Pennsylvania Children and Youth Solicitors Association for a 2-year term. Attorney Robinson has served as solicitor for Northumberland County Children and Youth since 1984. Item number 8, a motion is needed to make payment to former Northumberland County employee Lisa Labosky in the amount of $3,100.17 regarding her claim for tuition reimbursement.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Number 9, a motion is needed authorizing the Commissioners to sign the following Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Board of Probation and Parole documents. A, financial statement funds expended for improved adult probation services with the funding period of July 1st, 2013 through June 30th, 2014. B, Northumberland County State Offender Supervision Fund Agreement Renewal Signature Page for fiscal year 2014-2015. And C, Grant and Aid Continuing Program Application and Agreement for the Improvement of Adult Probation Services for fiscal year 2014-2015.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Number 10, a motion is needed to authorize that $2 million currently in the general fund will be committed to debt service.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, just to let everyone know that when we took office, we inherited a $2 million deficit. And because of what had transpired in the county in the past, the state said that we need to delineate our general fund dollars to our debt service dollars. So what we had is we had that deficit that we had to cover, otherwise we remember the conversations we had about being downgraded by the investment firms. And this averted that, but now what we're doing is we're just wanting so that if any future commissioners get elected, they don't look at it and say, oh, there's a $2 million windfall here, that this is actually debt service funds. And that's why we're passing this motion to commit those to pay back the debt service. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Number 11, a motion is needed authorizing the Commissioners to accept and sign the mediator's recommendation in the Casey Fisher grievance as a result of the grievance mediation held on June 13, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Number 12, a motion is needed acknowledging receipt of the following reports listed as items A through E on your public meeting agenda.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
13, a motion is needed authorizing a refund to Cindy L. Morden in the amount of $502.80 for parcel number 021-00-010-066-B due to an error overpayment as submitted by the Assessment Department.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed authorizing the following selection of projects for the federal fiscal year 2014 Community Development Block Grant Program at the recommendation of the Planning Department in conjunction with CEDACOG. Zerby Township, Swartz Hill Road and First Street Road reconstruction. Snydertown Borough, Fox Road reconstruction. Northumberland County, removal of blighted properties.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
A motion is needed authorizing the Commissioners to sign the State Tax Equalization Board voucher form for transfers of real estate for the month of June as submitted by the Assessment Department.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
A motion is needed to allocate monies from the Act 137 Affordable Housing Fund to the Northumberland County Housing Authority for the following projects as submitted by the Planning Department. A, allocation 1 will be utilized to pursue an infill housing project in Northumberland County contingent upon the award of at least $400,000 in outside funding with the allocation not to exceed $100,000. B, allocation number 2 will be utilized to continue with property demolition and acquisitions, working in conjunction with several municipalities, and that will be for $30,000.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
17, a motion is needed authorizing the selling of the 2014 judicial sale on sold properties at the repository sale.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
18, a motion is needed authorizing the Commissioners to adopt the updated information technology security policy for all county departments.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
19, a motion is needed authorizing the Commissioners to sign the monthly fiscal status reports for the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LIHEAP Standard, and the Department of Energy, DOE, for the month of June as submitted by the Weatherization Department.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Number 20, a motion is needed authorizing travel requests and attendance at the following workshop seminars as in accordance with the county's personnel manual travel reimbursement policy listed as items 20A through C on your public meeting agenda.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Number 21, a motion is needed to adopt the following honorary letters. Wedding anniversaries. Mr. and Mrs. Harlan Marks of Milton, 65th wedding anniversary, and Mr. and Mrs. Carl Phillips, Watsontown, 75th wedding anniversary.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. On to the solicitor's report. Mr. Kerrigan.
Thank you, Commissioner Bridey. Motion to adopt Resolution R59-14 as presented by the solicitor. Lease agreement between the Northumberland County Commissioners and Experience Works Incorporated for office space at the Northumberland County Career and Arts Center located at 2 East Arch Street, Shamokin.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt our Resolution R60-14 as presented by the solicitor. Lease agreement between the Northumberland County Commissioners and Central Susquehanna Intermediate Unit for office space at the Northumberland County Career and Arts Center located at 2 East Arch Street, Shamokin.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R61-14 as presented by the solicitor. Contractual consent of landowner agreement between the Northumberland County Commissioners and B&M Coal whereby the company agrees to restore and remediate county lands to pre-mining conditions.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R62-14 as presented by the solicitor, amendment number 2 to the operating agreement between the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Northumberland County Prison and Aramark Correctional Services, LLC, for food service.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
A motion to adopt Resolution R63-14 is presented by the solicitor. The subrecipient agreement between the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners and Mount Carmel Township for the 2012 Community Services Block Grant Program for a project in the village of Strong.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R64-14 is presented by the solicitor. Resolution of the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners naming Patrick A. Mack, as the project director and authorizing him to submit grant applications for funding for the following grants: District 3-0 Community Traffic Safety Program and the North Central Regional Sobriety Checkpoint Project.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R65-14 is presented by the solicitor. Subrecipient agreement between the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Planning Department and the Mount Carmel Township Supervisors for the 2011 Community Services Block Grant Program in the amount of $67,000 for the removal of blighted structures on Girard Street in Atlas.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R66-14 as presented by the solicitor. Resolution authorizing the solicitor to commence action in the Court of Common Pleas, including the expenditure of necessary expenses to close Bridge Number 78 crossing Schwaben Creek in Upper Mahanoy Township, based upon the recommendation of the county engineer.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R67-14 is presented by the solicitor. The resolution of the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the Tax Claims Bureau for the exoneration of taxes.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R68-14 as presented by the solicitor. Commissioners' budget amendments as listed.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R69-14 as presented by the solicitor. Agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports between the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the Human, Senior, and Social Services and the following service providers as listed, numbers 1 through 40. The above agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports are not with county employees, nor does their organizational contract list county employees as principals in their corporation or on their board of directors, with the exception of contracts number 2 and 3. I am the employee of the county of Northumberland.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there any old business? Under new business, I do have one thing. We need to, I make a motion to ratify Travelers as our insurance carriers for the elected officials, the employees, the fleet or cars, and Joe had to act on it before the one expired. The other two weren't going to expire until one was the end of this month, the other one was the end of next month. But because the premium is so low, is so much lower, it makes sense to change them and put them all with one carrier.
I make the motion.
Okay. Well, I made the motion, so I guess you'll second.
I second the motion.
Okay. On the question?
Yeah, I'll be voting against this. While it is less than what we had previously, if anybody's interested in seeing the email communications surrounding this entire thing, you may recall I brought the issue up at the last meeting.
Cut the nonsense, Mr. Shuck. Let's move on.
He indicated that he didn't know anything about the fact that the current broker of record had been cut off by our current carrier. Emails will show he knew about it several weeks before that, and in fact the carrier knew it. There's also emails indicating that the current broker thanking Mr. Piccarelli for protecting the business for him. While we have a better deal than what we had previously, because of the way it was handled, we did not bid this out to get other quotes. One other insurance company, a local insurance company, Purdy Insurance, ultimately did submit something. It had a significantly lower premium. However, the deductibles were also significantly higher. But that's just one other broker. And for some reason, even though at the last meeting, Mr. Piccarelli indicated that I should have contacted him 6 months before in order to give that local broker, Purdy's, an opportunity to bid for the business, they were able to whip this thing together with another insurance company in a couple of weeks because that broker or current broker had to go out and find another carrier that would actually allow them to quote the insurance through them for us. So at any rate, there are a number of issues with it. Mr. Brighty, when you approved this, also, the emails will show that there was no indication to the other broker, who everyone knew was interested in bidding for the business, that you were going to bid out all of the insurance policies that were bid out. It was just the policies that were expiring at the end of July, unless they weren't given an opportunity prior to you unilaterally and illegally entering into a insurance agreement without approval of the board. They did not have an opportunity to bid on that before we had already committed ourselves. And of course, there would probably be, early withdrawal fees and things like that associated with it. No one was told any of it, even though I had made inquiries at the last meeting. The only way I know about it is because I had to have emails printed off between Mr. Piccarelli and the broker to see what the communications were. And at that point, they had already entered into this without a vote of the board, without, frankly, even notifying all members of the board.
Oh, my God.
How many markets do you think?
Mr. Brady, hold on.
Actually,
Mr. Brady, hold on. Mr. Shockey, I want to say something now, okay? Can you guys allow me to speak?
Sure.
Okay, and I don't want to be interrupted. Okay? Mr. Shock, we had to put insurance in this county for 40 years. Okay? Mr. Shock is pushing to bring the per insurance back into the county. Okay? Since I'm a county commissioner, per insurance will never be into a county business because they used to charge the county over $200,000 more than what we was paying, first of all. Second, Mr. Shock, the only interest he has to bring the per insurance into the county because he paid to play. Okay, Mr. Purdy donated $250 this campaign to make sure he was coming back to the county. Okay? That will not happen again. Okay. So, Mr. Shuck, you can speak all you want. That's never going to happen again.
No, and my response to that is, to the extent that people had supported me in my campaign, they supported me because they wanted to have a fair shake.
Yeah, Mr. Shuck, no, you paid to play.
They have not had. The last time this was bid out, Purdy's was the low bidder. And frankly, Mr. Piccarelli was on the record saying that several years ago.
Let me finish, though. Mr. Shuck, as the press, you want to come and look at the record in 2008, we was paying $200,000, $225,000 to have a broken record. Yeah. Mr. Piccarelli did it for free. He did insurance for free for us, okay? So you've been picking all the employees because you don't get your way with your corona you have in Sunbury to bring the per insurance back to the county because they make a contribution for your campaign.
What I think we should be doing, and what I've stated, what I have stated is that we should be bidding this out, and if Purdy's is the low bidder,
Mr. Shuck, you know as a lawyer, professional service you don't have to bid out. First. Second, we was paying $100,000 in the premium for deduction. Now we pay $15,000 for deduction. Okay, we save $50,000 in the premium, and the insurance, we got a better insurance than ever before.
And how much could we have saved had we checked with someone other than just the two brokers, one of whom had to come in after the fact, after you'd already placed it?
You wanted me with me.
I know it doesn't have to be bid out, but the last time it was bid out is when we received our best deals, and we know then that we get the lowest bid.
Let me check, for God's sake.
We had a number of proposals that were brought to our attention, and we, of course, took the lower one, which is by Travelers. Actually, I do have our agent here.
Pay to play. Mr. Shapke pays to play.
Mr. Robertson, if you could please approach, please. What had transpired was when Joe was put on the coals the last time, he was about ready to quit. Joe's office has been decimated over the years. I mean, he literally wears three jobs. He's handling 3 jobs that were currently handled by 3 people. He handles the risk, the workman's comp, and the head of HR.
And no cost to the taxpayer.
Right. Mr. Robertson will talk a little bit about why he changed as the broker record for that CNA, and explain that, because I think it was unfair that Mr. Schock disparaged somebody that he doesn't know anything about in the last meeting. Also, we're doing something right here when it comes to lawsuits. For a major carrier like Travelers, which is the largest insurer of municipalities in the nation, to reduce our deductible by $85,000 on one, $10,000 on another, reduce our premium by $50,000 roughly, and increase our coverage by $1 million blanket. It says a lot to how we're doing it, and Mr. Robertson will testify here that a lot of that, the reason for that,
I don't think he's testifying. I don't think this is a court. I think he's going to talk to us.
Mr. Brady.
Well, what I'm trying to say, though, is that one of the main reasons why this is lower is because of the interview that they had with Mr. Piccarelli, and he explained to them exactly how and what we do. So with that said, if you can explain the timeline on how the broker record was changed, and how many different markets you took this out to shop it to, the Travelers.
Mr. Brady, let's set the record reflected in 2008, when the per insurance used to have an insurance, we was paying $650,000 a year. Now we pay what, $320, $330? What do we pay now?
And you were also insuring a lot more assets because you had transportation here. You had the
okay, hold on, Mr. Schock. You paid the claim. We have the record. We have the record. You can look at the record.
So you're skewing the numbers, Mr. Clausen.
No, I don't screw the number. 8 years, 2008, we dropped the insurance. When we got rid of the insurance, we dropped the insurance over $250,000.
And
so
you want
to be paid, you want to pay the per insurance, you pay you to play. That ain't gonna work, because that's why the county was going broke, because the brain you have and you corona.
What I want, Mr. Clausen, is for this county to operate like every other county in this state, which is that one person does not get to go out and enter into a contract placing hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of business without notifying other members of the board and without having been voted on in an open, advertised public meeting, which is how it has to be done pursuant to law.
Can you answer me a question? Why per insurance? You had the insurance for 40 years before I come on board.
Apparently they were the low bidder, and I wasn't here for the last 40 years. But I know the last time it was bid out, they were the low bidder.
Yeah, when I come on board, we bid it out, we said for $250,000. The record speaks for itself. So let's move on. Let's not pay to play. Let's go.
Well, Mr. Robertson, if you could just elaborate a little bit. I know we were under the gun. We didn't have a meeting to schedule. Joe typically, every good leader out there has to delegate authority. I mean, we delegate it to all of our 60 some odd department heads that make decisions all day, every day. I'm looking at some of them right now that don't have to run to the board and to do it with
no, absolutely not.
In their budget. Of course, and this is
well, and just so we know as well, Frank, I know I requested a legal opinion for this, and we exchange
Mr. Schock, you don't like
we can have for the next meeting, whether or not, whether it be a single commissioner or an employee can enter into a contract which binds this county without having it approved at a board.
It was two commission we're going to ratify today.
That was not the question that was posed last time, but yeah, I will provide a bit.
Thank you.
Mr. Brady, tell them we're going to ratify the decision we make. We ratify today, correct?
That's the motion that's on the floor. That's properly moved.
Okay. So let's move on that motion, please. Because of Mr. Schock, Mr. Schock, the role is a lawyer, know how to spin to the issue. So let's move it to that.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
One opposed?
Hey, what do you expect? What do you expect? Put insurance in and get the insurance. What do you expect?
Okay, Mr. Robertson, if you could kind of explain that we were up against it. Of course, our insurance was going to lapse.
Right. The history on it is we came in I think it's 2008, 2009, in a bid situation. We were, for the package, we were $20-some thousand less than what the incumbent broker was. We stayed with that carrier and the two carriers for the law enforcement and public officials. Each of those policies were with different insurance companies with their own limits that stood alone. This past year, we went out to CCAP, Zurich, AIG, Travelers, and obviously with CNA. CNA program is through an MGA called McKee Risk. We as a retail brokerage had severed our relationship with them, but knowing that CNA might or might not pose a better alternative, we introduced a broker that we are affiliated with down in the Reading area who does quite a bit of business with them, so that they could go out and obtain a quote. If CNA was the better quote, we were going to step away from those lines of business, and they would have been serviced by someone else. What Travelers came in and did was, overall, total program dropped $38,000. The other thing that they did was put an $8 million limit on top of all the lines of liability coverage. So now the law enforcement, the employment practices liability, and the public officials all had their own separate $1 million, $2 million aggregate limits, but then there was an $8 million umbrella that now sits over the GL, the auto, and those other 3 lines. The other big improvement was the retention for an employment practices liability claim was dropped from a $100,000 out-of-pocket expense to the county to $15,000. We have been trying to get Travelers to come in for the last 3 years. They are the premier carrier for this line of business. They have the best loss control and support, both online and in people. We had the loss control folks out here last week to kind of unveil to Joe some of the tools that are available to him. And to Commissioner Bridey's point, one of the main reasons we were able to get Travelers to offer a quote this year was because of the loss control interview that the loss control guy did with Mr. Piccarelli. He was impressed enough with the controls and the dedication to controlling claims that they went ahead and authorized the bid.
Okay, and you know, in my, why would you do that? Just to, I know that the way that you run your business and your motto there, you just want to always do the right thing, and I appreciate you working so hard with Joe and saving our tax dollars.
Yeah, you know, and we've always kept an arm's length from our clients with as far as anything. The only money we've ever sent to the county is to buy a foursome or sponsor the commissioner's golf outing, and to maintain that arm's length. We don't even attend the golf outing. We actually donate the foursome back to the county so that they can give it to a deserving employees that would like to attend that maybe couldn't afford to. Other than that, there's nothing that's ever changed hands.
Thanks, Mr. Roberts.
Mr. Roberts, I just have a couple questions for you. Yeah. It's the case, is it not, that if you were going to still be placing through the other broker that you had interposed, I think it was Loomis?
Yes.
That if the business would have still been placed through McKee CNA, they were going to require a prepayment of the entire premium as opposed to paying it out on a schedule throughout the course of the year. Are you aware of that? Or
They always, the premiums always due up front.
The entire premium?
Yes, yeah, every year.
Is paid up front?
Yes. Travelers actually came in with a 4 installment plan this year at $6 per installment.
What is this nonsense?
Was that the payment plan that was in place for CNA when we had them before?
Always.
It was always a complete prepayment of the premium?
Full payment was due at policy inception, yes.
Full payment of the entire premium?
The entire premium, yeah. Checks had to be cut in the full amount.
Okay.
CNA did not offer installments. We could have...
When was the first notification to your insurance agency that CNA was not going to be, that they would not be represented through you anymore? Because the county received a notification back in April, early April, I think April 9th.
Yeah, I think we severed our relationship with them somewhere in the fall. So knowing that we weren't going to, but as I said, I mean, just to protect the county, if CNA was going to be the right carrier, we wanted to make sure that they were in good hands. So I introduced Joe to who the Loomis agency was, and they would be going for it.
So you knew back last fall that you wouldn't be representing CNA, that the relationship was severed?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And then the question I have is, because there is an email from Frank McGee of your agency to Joe Piccarelli that was dated, I believe, in May or June of this year, in which he thanks Joe for protecting the CNA lines of the business. Joe indicates to him that he told the commissioners, and really it was me because it was the meeting when Purdy's asked to come in to bid on the business, that they wouldn't be able to bid through CNA because you guys had CNA covered, but yet at that time you knew that you didn't have the CNA relationship anymore, and Joe Piccarelli would have known it as well, would he not?
We told them we were going to go through Loomis with them.
But but you're saying that you would have had the entire relationship covered. In fact, you weren't you weren't a direct broker for CNA anymore, isn't that
Well, it's
correct?
a misunderstanding. And what the intent of that comment is that if CNA was going to come through with the best program, which they ultimately didn't, that we were still going to be able to allow you guys, the county, to access that program through the Loomis agency.
But that would have effectively shut out any other broker, including Purdy's or any other broker that otherwise does represent CNA from quoting insurance to the county through CNA.
CNA is, nobody can represent CNA on that program besides McKee.
Yeah, but through McKee.
Right.
They would not have been able to have.
But according to McKee, Purdy had no relationship with them either. When we took the business over from Purdy, we were told by McKee that there was no relationship. So I would have assumed
when you took it over when? Back in
2008 or 9, whatever it was.
Okay. Okay. All right.
That was my understanding.
Okay.
Let's move on, guys.
Thank you very much.
We're good? Okay, thank you.
Any additional public input?
Yeah, whoa. Under new business. I have something to say under new business.
Okay.
Janet, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. I understand that today the court submitted a salary board, and the reason why I submitted a salary board issue, he wants a raise for 3 individuals, correct? But then he withdraw.
Yes.
Okay. And he requested a different day for next salary board, correct?
He asked that it be, and he's going to be in touch with us, and he will ask for
Okay.
a future meeting.
I want to send a message to everybody in the county, every employer, the court employer. Nobody's getting any raise. Everybody's going to get a raise at the same time in January. So, due to the circumstance that we're not have any longer salary board to the end of the year, if anybody wants to have a salary board to give a raise to the employee, they could take them to court. It will not be in the agenda to the end of the year. It will be no more salary board to the end of the year. Because everybody's supposed to get a raise, not certain individual, because they're the court or there's somebody else, they have the power, they have the handcuffs. They're not going to handcuff the commissioner. We will not have a salary board to give a raise to certain individual. Everybody's going to get a raise or nobody. If they don't like it, you guys can take me to court.
Well,
I control the agenda, and that's
I think
the way
we've had this discussion before under the county code. They have a right to have one called. We as a salary board have a right to either approve or deny their request.
Well,
but
I'm telling you, I will not have
be embroiled in more needless litigation.
I'm telling you, Jacques, it will not be salary board to give individual and certain people in the court, okay? Because you approve all raise belongs to the court and to the attorney. So it will not be no salary board any longer till everybody gets a raise and no certain individual is going to get a raise, period.
Our insurance broker goes back to our new carrier and lets them know that they should
You want to have a salary board that can give a raise to every employee in Northumberland County, I will have a salary board. If you don't want to have that, there will not be no salary board, period. And so the judge you don't like, you can take them to court.
Okay, any additional public input? Hearing none, motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second. Okay.